Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another stream. I know I said I was going to do this last Tuesday, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it about everything that happened. I'm about to start the call with David, so we can hopefully hear everything when he's speaking. So let's have a look. See. Okay, where is the call? Where did we go?
Whoa.
David, good sir, how are you?
Whoa. I don't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh. Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. You are pretty quiet, but I can hear you.
Hooray! Okay, let me see if I can. I got a new mic, and it doesn't. It's not always that good. I'm gonna get a different mic when I can
Oh,
afford a better one. Can you hear me better now?
a little bit.
Success.
Oh
Uh,
man. I should have told you to just buy the mic I have.
well,
Didn't think of it.
I wanted to get the mic I used to have, but the last time I bought one, it cost me $20, and when I went to get a new one, it was 120, and I was like, no, I'm alright. So I just went and bought the first $20 mic I could find. And apparently it ain't that good. So yeah, people in because we're live, right? We're live. This is off to a great start. People in the
Oh,
chat,
we are.
we
I
are.
didn't know we were live.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Oh,
We're
it's a good
live.
thing I didn't.
You did instantly start saying slurs. I agree. It's a good choice. Um, People in the chat. David's a bit
Right.
okay. David. This always happens with. Let me see if I can do anything. No, I can't. Okay. David's a bit quiet. All I can
Right.
do is turn him up a little bit. Let's see if that works.
I mean, I can also move myself closer to. Let me open it. Oh, look at that. I see you. You're on your screen. You're on your own
Hello,
screen.
David. Hello, you can see me. It's been too long, good sir.
Yes.
Right, now I'm
Right.
gonna.
I see you. I don't see me though. I'm not there. Oop. I hit the stand. Where am I? I don't. Oh,
Wait,
maybe I'm Knuckles in the corner.
there you go, your knuckles. So I'm gonna. All right. Oh, so you know what I dislike about certain things is that on when you have like pop-ups on my screen, if my mouse goes away from Sonic One, no sound comes out.
Uh-huh.
I dislike it when games do that, but I do not know how to fix it. But we are here, David. I've been meaning to play this for a while, and I've been meaning to hang out with you again for a while. So I thought, why not combine those and we'll play?
Combine them.
For some reason, part of the reason why I wanted you on here is because I would like you. I would like. I know we've had this conversation before, but I would still like you to explain yourself as to why Sonic One is your favorite franchise.
Oh yeah. Well, that's because it's the best one.
It's that. I mean,
Yeah.
very few people would share your opinion on that, good sir.
Right. Well, just because there's a lot more people who are wrong, doesn't mean anything. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Hold on. I gotta read the rules to your chat before I can engage any further. Be nice to everyone. Uh-oh. That's gonna be hard.
I know.
Listen to the mods. Okay. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure I'll find them. At least one of them's you. And,
I think, yeah.
Don't eat after midnight. I keep on breaking that one. Hold on.
We don't want any goddamn gremlins.
Right. I am David.
He is. Oh, what do they call you on Sonic Weekly? The star of the show. He is the star of Sonic Weekly, David T. Lurker.
Right. Out of the shadows into the spotlight. It's David the Lurker. That's how I am introduced. Yes. That is my internet handle, David the Lurker. I am. I hide in a couple corners of the internet. There is. I've been. I'm part of FTCR. I am on Sonic Weekly. I am still technically part of Sonic Retro.
At what point weren't you given control of that website, or am I mistaken in that?
It's a little complicated. I was supposed to be given full control of it at one point, but then things happened. Things happened in yes.
So I think it wasn't what, because I haven't gone. I mean, I never really messed around with retro too much because I thought you were a bunch of elitists for one reason or another. I got denied on 2 separate occasions to be able to join that forum, David. 2 separate occasions I was denied, and I'm still mad about it.
When did you try to join?
Yeah, this is years ago. Absolutely years ago.
So before you knew me.
I think so. I think the second time was after I knew you, but I don't think you were in charge of it at that point.
No, but even at that point, if you had said, "Hey, I'm gonna make an account. Can you just approve it?" I would have just done it.
Well, let's see. If I can go back, so I know the website is still around, and I know the forums are still around.
Yeah,
but like, is it still a big thing? Is it still pretty active at this point?
Yeah. I mean, it's not the most active. Like, it's not the biggest Sonic community that exists. I mean, I would assume that probably Tails Channel is the big. Well, it's Stadium and Tails Channel are the two, I would say, like, biggest Sonic communities at this point, right?
Does Tails Channel have a website, or is it just a YouTube channel still at this point?
I mean, it's the YouTube, Twitter, Blue Sky. I mean, they have a big Discord as well.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those things Discord, where, like, right, it's a more of a decentralized community than. Like, Stadium still has forums. They still have a place where everyone goes, and so does Retro. And
I'm sorry, do Stadium and Retro have Discord servers, or do they just keep their forums?
No, like, Retro has a Discord. Stadium has a Discord. I'm in it, but I never look in it. I mean the Stadium one.
Yeah.
I look in the Retro one because I'm contractually obligated to. Yeah, like, Retro, at one point, Retro was trying to be everything. Like, it wanted to be not just a forum. Like, oh, it's not just a community, but it's also a wiki, but it's also a news place. And we also want a podcast, and we want to do fan games, and all. Like, it wanted to be everything.
Mm-hmm.
And really, what it's settled into is, like, it's the forum community and the wiki. And the front page is essentially dead. I mean, it is dead at this point. It hasn't updated in over a year, because that was like, oh, that's where the news is. But it is, but the site itself is still going. It just focuses really on what the core of it is, and that's what it is. You know.
Do the wikis still get updated at this point, or is it pretty much just a forum now?
No, I mean, the wiki, it still gets updated. I mean, there's some gaps in it, I'd say. You know, there's certain things that need to be updated and fixed, or just written. But I would say, like for example, if you wanted to know anything about the Archie Sonic comics, at the moment, the Retro Wiki is not the best place to go. That is going to be the fandom wiki. But, like, if you want to really know all the nitty-gritty about the development of, say, the original Sonic the Hedgehog, I would say go to the Retro development page for Sonic 1, not the fandom wiki, because I think the fandom wiki does have, like, oh, here's all the concept art and stuff, but there's strengths and weaknesses to both.
Oh yeah, I get you.
You know, so for the true Sonic the Hedgehog connoisseur, like you would want to go to both of them. I don't think you would say, "Oh, I reject one and embrace the other." You wanna, because even I'm not gonna be like, well, you know, if you had asked me in 2010, I would have been like, "Oh, the fandom wiki," which wasn't fandom at that point. Yeah, I would have been like, "Oh man, no, they suck."
They
Ha
say,
ha ha. But they don't. That's also like it was also a very different wiki back then, because some pages. Because at the time I was rewriting things on the Retro Wiki, and then I'd be like, "Oh, I rewrote the page to Amy Rose," and then somebody on the Wikia just copied and pasted everything I wrote about Amy Rose and put it on there, and I was like,
those
"Oh,
bastards.
yes." But I mean, nowadays they're all very distinct and do different things, and if anything, I need to rewrite the Amy Rose page on Sonic Retro.
We need to. Are you how knowledgeable, David, are you of the Transformers wiki?
Oh, well, you know,
Because we need a Sonic one that's like the
uh-huh.
Transformers wiki, where just every image is just has like a caption. Make it one of my favorite things about the Transformers wiki. What that's bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Years ago, I'm not sure if you know this. So years ago, back in England, I'm going to pause for that. I'm going to pause for this story because it's so important to me.
Okay.
There was
Okay.
the British company Metronome had the license for G1, and they
Uh-huh.
put out all of G1 in 4 different sets, and across 2 of them there was this 2-part comic called I think it was The War Within, and then I think part 2 was called Consequence. It was the first time, I think officially, even though now Hasbro completely ignored this, probably because no one knows about it. There was a comic book where the Dinobots merge and they become like this like brainless thing that just starts killing everything. Um, and
Oh.
it wasn't very well received. From what I remember, I think the writer, this may be wrong. It's been a minute since I looked at it. I think the writer was not the most well regarded in the Transformers community. And again,
Okay.
it's my favorite post on anything ever was, so you know how some wikis will have things like, trivia notes and errors. Under the errors listing for Transformers The Beast Within, or whatever it was called, it just simply says this comic exists.
Oh, wow.
And that's still to this day my fucking favorite thing on the internet of all time. Just errors, this comic book exists.
Wow. So this is on. I mean, is it still there? The Transformers on the.
It should be, yeah. And I still have both physical issues because I still have my Metronome sets. Maybe I could sell them on eBay for a pretty penny because they're collector's items at this point, I assume. But no, yeah, that should, again. I think it's the War Within or the Beast Within. But errors, this comic book exists, and I fucking love it. Makes me laugh every time I think about that.
Let's see. The war. Wait. The Beast. Wait. The
It's
War
even
Within or.
it's either called the War Within or the Beast Within. I don't, because it's been a minute since I've even looked at it, or it's something like that.
Right. Let's see. There was a comic called The War Within that was published in 2002, part of the Dreamwave continuity.
Then no,
Uh,
it's Beast Within then.
Okay, let's see. The Beast Within. Let's see what we got there. The Beast Within, a profound and moving narrative that forces the audience to reevaluate all conceptions of their identity.
Yes.
Oh wow! What? Oh,
This is why I love the Transformers wiki. Okay.
that's interesting.
I know. Right?
Both thrilling and immersive, The Beast Within redefines the era as it forces a new standard of storytelling. It opens on an epic battle comparable to The Lord of the Rings or Akira. This conflict pales in comparison to the internal emotional struggle of Grimlock, as he is forced to restrain his own emotions for the sake of his tactical ideology. Pushed to both physical and psychological limits, he and his compatriots do the unthinkable and fuse, physically and conceptually, into a unified truth that mirrors us all. But with the revelation of this most sacred ability comes a new threat to the Autobots, a threat that is somehow familiar. Yes, publisher Metrodome.
Metronome.
included with season 2 part 2 DVD
Yep.
set. So is this canon?
No, again, if you check out the errors, this comic book exists.
Right. Well, I guess it's changed because the error, it just says this comic features digitally applied lettering using the much derided Comic Sans font.
Oh, they
That
must
is
have
rarely
removed it then. I thought that, or maybe because there was a part 2. Maybe the second one has its own listing. But I just remember errors. This comic exists. Just a fucking.
Right.
Oh my god.
Maybe that one was just a bit too
too mean for them.
That maybe.
Speaking of being too mean about things, how do you think? Because again, I just listened to the most recent Sonic Weekly where you guys brought up, or maybe it was last week's episode, where you guys brought up the Shadow Files. Is
you liquid monster?
Oh, thank you. Is this the point where Penders can? Do you think he might actually get sued now? Because of what he's doing with this one.
Oh, if there's any moment in which Ken Penders could get sued, I feel like it is the Shadow Collection. Yes, the Shadow Files. Because I feel like he's been dancing on the line a little bit, like for a while. When it comes to certain things, in the Knuckles Omnibus collection, there were moments where, like, there's a page that was digitally altered to include a sprite from Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I was like, I don't think you can do that. But
So I know in one of them some of the stuff was recolored to be more game accurate, but you're saying they just literally slapped in a PNG of a sprite from Sonic 3.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like from what I understand, not even the fucking like IDW books can just do that without Sega's approval. So that is crazy.
Right. It is strange that they did that, but as of now, it doesn't look like there's been any pursue of legal action for that sort of thing. But the Shadow Files collection is meant to include material written by Ian Flynn, and I think that's the issue. Now, it's supposed to include issues 160. Is it 66 and 67 or 67 and 68? It's the 2-part finale of Mobius 25 years later that Ian wrote.
Also, it doesn't also include segments of Universe 2.
Yeah, that's what it says in the listing. That it's those 2 issues plus pages from Universe 2, which I'm assuming you didn't get the Emerald.
Thank you, David. Thank you for pointing that out.
I didn't.
Sharp as a butt. Still as sharp as ever, David. Thank God. God bless you.
Yes, that's why I'm here. I mean, look, this. Well, to be fair, this is one of the more difficult ones because it is just a big empty space. It's not a maze proper.
At some point, everyone listening, I will ask David about the game. But I see this is why I've missed talking to David, because you're just fucking fascinating to listen to, my friend.
All right. Also, no, Ken Penders was never arrested. That was just Naka.
Damn it! Yeah, that was Naka.
That was Naka. He right, the insider trading. Hey, you've got enough coins. You right? I hope.
But keep going this way, maybe I won't.
How many times? Right. So, what are we doing? Yeah. So, pages from Sonic Universe 2. Now, what I'm assuming is that it's just the pages that are direct adaptations of Sonic.
Oh, Sonic Adventure 2, yeah.
Right. Because if you remember, it was like half of it is Shadow in the modern day and resolving.
Yes. Yeah.
The E102 story and introducing Omega into the Archie book, and the other half is they never properly finished adapting Adventure 2, because at the time when issue 98 came out, Archie was told by Sega, hey, you gotta adapt this, you gotta advertise the game just like they did with the first adventure, but I guess they went, we're not doing what we did last time. Also, they didn't have the ability to import the Japanese version early because it didn't come out early.
And also, wasn't it a thing where I think you've mentioned this on Sonic Weekly? Did Sega just flat out refuse to tell Archie what was in the game? Wasn't that a thing as well?
Yeah,
But they were like, please, like if you want us to adapt it, give us the material we need to adapt it. And Sega were just like, no.
No, right. Sega was very protective of having that stuff out there.
But then why ask them? Why ask them to do that? If you're not gonna give them any help, why fucking ask them?
Yes, it was. I feel like it was two different parts of Sega weren't talking to each other, which I think is the story of Sega as a whole.
Well, hasn't that true? Because I know back in the day it was a thing where, Sega Japan and Sega USA didn't really talk much, but doesn't that changed now? Are they a bit more in sync?
Yeah, it is different now. Right. The Sega of America doesn't have, it feels like, the same sort of latitude or longitude that they did.
Well, I just remember back in the day,
Sega of Europe doesn't seem to exist.
Which we should, because Sonic's the most popular there. But it's weird because I remember back when Archie was in full swing and they had the main book, Universe, and Boom. I remember Ian Flynn told me that I think with Universe, the main book was being overseen by Sega of America, but I think Universe was being overseen by Sega of Japan. And even he was like, I don't know why. Like one goes to Japan and one goes to America, but at that point, that's just how Sonic Team wanted to run things. So
right, that is true.
They've always been dumb. Let's just say that they haven't always been the best with what they do with their brand.
Yeah, I mean, Sega has always, it feels like, struggled as to what is Sonic and who should be in charge of Sonic and who is Sonic aimed at. I mean, right, you can, and I guess it's happened since the very beginning. If you have Sonic Team, they're making a game, and they go, oh, we wanted to appeal to an American audience, but that doesn't mean we don't want it to appeal to Japanese audiences. The thought process was, oh, if it's very successful in America, it will then also be successful in Japan, that didn't end up being the case. And it's also strange because there are certain elements in terms of advertising and what is Sonic that just didn't... Oh, you got them all. That didn't... got them all in a row. I got nervous for you there.
I'm very, very proud of myself. Thank you, Dave, for pointing that out.
Right, because, if Oshima is like, hey, yeah, like I want to create the idea of Sonic and have it appeal to American audiences, and one of those things that will appeal to American audiences is this story that Sonic the Hedgehog was actually created in the 1940s.
Oh yeah, was it the Chuck Yeager backstory? Is that the thing?
Yes, the Chuck Yeager backstory is definitely something that, like, in the initial. In the pitch documents that we have seen, like when the Sonic the Hedgehog post-mortem back in 2016 that had Yasuhara and Oshima at the GDC, you see the document that has the original draft of the Chuck Yeager story of Marie Granite and all that, and it does say, like, oh, this story could be used in a possible movie version of Sonic. Like, they were already thinking about that. So, and that's also why Sega, like, was really back when they tried to make a movie in the 90s.
Which one was that? Was that the Wonders of the World script?
Well, that, and also its precursor, which was just Sonic the movie.
Oh yeah, was it that the one about the kid who turns into Sonic, like the old manga?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So right, the one where
bunch of stupid shit.
I mean, wouldn't you want to watch a movie about a teenage boy who transforms into Sonic the Hedgehog? Because some blue goo was accidentally injected into his body while his father was being kidnapped by a knockoff of the Dr. Monroe, or Monroe, the Isle of Dr. Monroe?
Yeah, but,
Monroe. Marlon Brando, I think is.
Yeah, Marlon Brando. Jor-El. He's being kidnapped by Jor-El.
He is kidnapped by Jor-El. That's strange, right?
I just remember because there's an issue of Sonic the Comic where it's like where Sonic is a human, but then it turns out he's just hooked up to an Eggman machine, giving him a bad dream.
Yes, it's a bad.
As all good stories are.
He looks a little weird in that story.
Just a bit. Just a bit. They all do. I think, and Tails is a character with like his hair has like 2 ponytails or something like that. The issue kind of creeped me out as a kid. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a little strange. I mean, I didn't read it as a kid because it wasn't published here. I had to wait until many years later.
You guys got stuck with Archie, not the superior Sonic the Comic.
Well, there was a period of time where everyone online, like when I first went online back in the year of our Lord 1997, when you would see conversation about like, oh, the Archie book, and then you would see these occasional Brits show up and be like, well, actually, our comic is better.
It's way better than your shit.
It's way better. Yeah.
I missed it. I know.
Right.
I'm gonna die.
I mean, if you want to be safe, you can just wait for the second lava burst. If you want to be safe. From the second, you should be able to just jump from the block onto the platform.
Onto the thing, yeah.
Right, but there is a second burst, and that is closer. So you don't have to be as precise with your jump.
And as we all know, Marble Zone is about being slow. It's not about being fast. Because that's not what Sonic the Hedgehog's about. Sonic the Hedgehog is about slow, methodical platforming, not high-speed adventure.
I mean, you can go through Marble Zone pretty fast.
But that's not what Yuji Naka wanted you to do.
Right, well, I mean, for instance, you completely missed the shortcut to make this level half the length. If you want to go up, backwards, like... I can't watch you live. You are a few seconds behind. But there is a...
I thought you were going to say, I can't watch you live because you're so bad at the game. But I'd be like, fair.
No.
That's fair.
Right. If you were... Right, but all the stuff you're going through, I usually skip entirely because you don't need to do it. If you're going fast.
I'll be honest, I don't... One isn't a game I come back to too often. So I'm not as familiar with it as I am with 2 or 3.
Right, like, there's definitely some places where it looks like you need to wait, but you can actually jump and keep that momentum in Marble Zone. I mean, you do have to place it in context of when the original Sonic the Hedgehog was released, right?
Yeah.
Like,
June 23rd, as everyone knows, forever. Right, David? June 23rd is Sonic the Hedgehog's release date. It was never released the day before, was it, David? June 23rd.
Right. Right. It was released June 23rd, except for all the
all the other places it was sold before. Yeah.
Right. Now it was the earliest evidence of this game being sold is June 11th.
Yeah. I was gonna say if no one's ever listened to Sonic Weekly, anytime Sonic's birthday of June 23rd is brought up, David would be like, actually, not really.
Yes. Right. So, right, because June 11th is the earliest that we know, and I think it's safe to say that June 11th is the date that Sonic 1 was released. You fell.
I did.
Yes, but you're going backwards.
Oh, I am. Okay, I'm confused. My bad. You know why that happened? Because I spin dashed, and spin dashing shouldn't be in this game. So that was the game punishing me for going against nature. Can't spin dash.
Right. Now, because also back in the day, like when Sonic 1 was released, Genesis games did not have release dates, right? There was no document. Yeah, no, there was nothing released. Sega did not say, "Hey, this game comes out June 23rd." they did not say don't sell this game until June 23rd. They got the boxes and then just started shipping them.
I'm sorry. But so was that a thing for all video games, or was that just a Sega thing at that point? Because I always assumed, if you motherfucker, I always assumed that every game would have just had a this comes out this date, don't set it before.
No. In Japan, they had concrete release dates by this point, in the 80s. Like, so when you say, oh, Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, these are the release dates, that is exactly when it was released in Japan.
Gotcha, okay.
But in America, because of how big the country is in comparison to, say, Japan, you don't have a concrete release date. It is, whenever it showed up at the shop.
Okay.
So you would have like, it should be out this month, but you don't know when you'll get it.
Gotcha.
Yes, that's why Sonic Tuesday was such a big deal. That was the first time they actually... Now, I mean, technically we do know other dates, like when the Nintendo Entertainment System was first released in the US, when the Genesis was first released in the US, because they were released like, in test markets. It was released in New York. It was released in California.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nationwide rollout. It's when the nationwide rollout started that people went, we don't actually know the dates. So a lot of it is just retroactive or a best guess. But Sonic 2, that was the big deal of like, we don't want this to just roll out. We want it to be a big event.
A big thing, yeah.
A date linked to it. And so it took a lot of effort to have the game be shipped across the country and arrive in stores, the day of or the day before, and to say, hey, this comes out on the 24th. And that was the same thing in the US and Europe. They wanted it all the same, which is funny because Japan was like, we're not listening to you, and released it 3 days beforehand, because by that point
we made the fucking game. You don't tell us when to release it. Get out of here, America.
Well, technically, Sonic 2 was made in America.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
All right, you can do a fast thing and skip half this level.
I can.
I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, well, if you go back to the okay, wait, you hit the you need the speed shoes. Did the speed shoes end already?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, well, then never mind. You can't do it.
Why?
But where that red spring is, if you hit it with the speed shoes, you can just launch up over the top where those moving blocks are, and just launch over the entire thing.
Never mind.
But I mean, maybe the spin dash will help, but
it did not help.
No, you keep hitting that bumper.
Yeah. Shouldn't have went.
It's alright. Look, this is a good game.
It's David's favourite game of all time. So David, is this your favourite game or just your favourite Sonic game?
I mean, when it comes to video games, it begins and ends with Sonic.
Sonic, yeah.
I do like other games. But I guess I don't think of myself as like, oh yeah, video games are my thing. Like, Sonic is my thing, and I like some other video games.
Do you like the Mario Brothers?
I do like Mario.
Okay.
Super Mario was the first game I ever played. It was the original on the Nintendo.
My first ever game was Mario Bros. 3. So, but then I quickly pivoted to Sonic, and it's just been a downward spiral ever since.
Right. Now the first game I got, I remember my father came home one day and somehow, I don't know exactly how, he had a Nintendo Entertainment System with him, and it had, Super Mario and Duck Hunt. That was the way of the world at the time. The Genesis, well, I guess the Genesis did exist, but right. Well, Sonic did not exist at this point. So I got that, and then the next game I got was the original Ninja Turtles game on the NES.
Oh, I had that, you poor bastard.
Right, I was a turtle head. I was very excited that I had the turtle game, but
it sucks.
I still to this day have not beaten it.
Same, bro. The closest way I've gotten to in the Cowabunga collection, you can like watch a video and then take control at any moment. So I just fast forward to the end and then take over and do the last hit. Like, yeah, I did it. I beat the game. We've gone on so many. Yeah, I'm sorry. You gone?
Oh, that's okay. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say we have so many tangents. Well, I was gonna be like, let's try and close some of these tangents people.
Right, some of these tangents. Right. But yeah. So after the Ninja Turtles game, I got a Game Boy.
Nice.
I got it from a place called Children's Palace, which no longer exists and hasn't for 30 some odd years. But right. So I got a Game Boy and it had Tetris and Super Mario Land. And so I got a couple games for the Game Boy, like the Fall of the Foot Clan, the first Turtle game. And...
That's the Game Boy games aren't too bad. They're actually pretty good.
Yeah, I had that whole game memorized as a kid. Like I knew every single jump and every single hit and where every single like secret hole is, because there's some secret holes where you get transported. But I replayed it on the Cowabunga collection, and I realized I no longer remembered where all those secret holes were.
Yep.
I was like, I feel like there's more to this, and it's just I hadn't played it in a couple decades, and I was surprised at myself. But yeah, so NES, Game Boy, and then I saw Sonic and went, I need this. And then I finally got the Sega Genesis with Sonic 1 packed in. And then that was the beginning of the end for me. But I mean, I still like Mario. I do think, Super Mario Brothers 3 is one of the best 2D platformers. Although I think I slightly like World more, and that might just be
No, they're all fucking great. You can't complain with a old school Mario Bros. Game.
Right, and I do think I think Odyssey is probably that's one of the best games that
of all time. Yeah,
of all time. Yeah, like it is. Like it's probably blasphemy to say, "Oh, I like this better than 64," but I do.
Oh yeah.
Like that one. Yeah.
I think 64. It's a game at this point. It's a game I immensely respect, but it's just it's been surpassed by so many. And this might be controversial, and I will accept it. I think SA1 is aged better than 64. SA1 is a buggier game. I will grant you that, but I just think I think SA1 is just in this day and age is just more fun than 64 is.
I mean, I think SA1 did it sort of went with the same mentality of say Sonic 1 in relation to Mario Brothers 3 or World, in the sense that okay, there's this standard that's been put together. We have to go beyond that. We have to do something different. And because the original Sonic is sort of an experiment in what a 2D platformer can be. After Super Mario was released, every platformer essentially wants to be Mario, like every knockoff platformer. You do have a little bit of variation, I guess like Mega Man is a big one where it's its own, jumping and shooting game.
Yeah, it's just because like I wouldn't class. I mean, and people may disagree. I wouldn't necessarily class Mega Man as a platform.
I mean,
I would class it more of an action game. Something like a slightly slowed down Contra. I mean, I know there is a lot of platforming in it, but I would just associate the kind of the shooting as more to the core of Mega
Man. I guess so. I guess I generally just think of it more as a platformer because there's a lot of I mean, there's a lot of platforming in it. Those reappearing and disappearing blocks are.
Fuck you, quick man.
But I don't think of Contra really as a platformer. I get like there's technically some platforms, but that's not really what it is. That's not. But but yeah. So you have games that are either like we're being Mario or we're another genre entirely, aside from something like maybe a Mega Man. And Sonic Team went, well, what if we tried to make a platformer that isn't Sonic but is still a platformer, even though at the time the phrase platformer didn't exist, so they never would have said that aloud. Well, yeah, one of the things that I always
make Alex the Kid.
Right, like Alex the Kid is, well, what if we made Mario? Even though it is still different. It's different, but it's not.
I bought the remake of it, the one that had the fancy graphics. You could switch to the old school ones. I'm not gonna lie. After like 5 minutes, it's like, nah, I'm alright. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I've never been too deep into Alex Kidd, but I think that's because as a Sega kid growing up in the United States, Alex Kidd is not. He's not on the table. Nobody thinks about him. Nobody talks about him. It's like, oh, here's Sonic.
But his games weren't that good. His games weren't that good. You know who needs to love more than Alex Kidd? Dynamite Heady. That was a fucking game. Dynamite Heady was a fucking game.
Yeah. I mean, that is a treasure game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. I never owned it.
I did. It's hard as balls. I've never finished it, but it's a fun fucking game.
Right. Is it slightly harder like the Japanese version, or did they make the American version slightly harder? It's one of those things.
I know they changed a bunch of the sprites to be less how do I put this, racist in the Western version. But I'm not sure if they altered any of the game, but I just know that they changed a bunch of sprites.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember offhand, but I know there is a difference between difficulty, not just the sprite work.
Okay.
Yeah, it's but yeah. No, so the original Sonic is sort of an experiment. I mean, you think about like, oh, well, how does like Mario walks and there's a run button, and you go, well, what if the character just gradually sped up and had a top speed? You know, part of it is like, oh, you want to try and maintain that speed. You want to see how fast you can get through a level, and then
but wasn't part of it? Didn't Yuji Naka go on record saying that he was inspired by the speed in Mario Brothers, where he would try and finish the level as soon as possible?
Right, because he's like, oh, I'm constantly going through this first level, which tells me Naka's bad at the game, and he's like, oh, how fast can I go through it? So he is kind of thinking a little bit like a speedrunner, and he's like, well,
Yuji Naka, the world's first speedrunner.
Right. Like what if the character is just naturally fast? And I guess because at the time, if you think about precision platforming, speed might not occur to you. It's like, oh yeah, but the character's also the fastest thing alive. But Sonic was like, I can do both. And then also just like the way that Sonic attacks, it's a very fluid movement. That his whole body can be a weapon if he curls into a ball. Like, oh yeah, that's what Sonic does. That's what Sonic is. It's not just, oh, you have to jump on it or you have to throw a projectile and hope it goes the right way. You know, I guess when the game was meant to be the rabbit game, it was sort of a projectile, picking up a block and throwing it, slowing it down. But right, with Mario, you either land directly on top of the enemy, or you shoot the fireball, or you know, you have some other like the
frog
detail or whatever. Right, or the frog. But it is there's more thought to it. Like if you're running and you see an enemy and you just press down, you curl into a ball, you don't have to stop. And that by itself is like a revelation. That is a change in how things go. And so it's the idea of flow, the idea of motion. Like nowadays, people do talk about like the flow of Mario, and especially like in 3D, there is more of a flow to Mario. But you think about Mario in 2D, the flow was different, and Sonic was built around that concept in a way that just didn't exist in platformers before that point. And I don't know if anyone else really figured out how that flow, how you can make a game with that flow. You think about something like Bubsy. Bubsy desperately wanted to be Sonic the Hedgehog and was not. He's just not. But he wants to. He wants to be fast and flows. But also, that's why like the ring mechanic is a stroke of genius. If Sonic, because like, oh, you might go too fast, you might hit something. I know, people like to complain about you can barely see what's in front of Sonic. Of course, at the time, no one complained about that. It didn't occur to anyone that it could be a complaint.
But also now it's in widescreen, so everyone can shut up.
Right, it is in widescreen now, so you can see everything forever.
Forever.
Forever, yeah. But yeah, so you do have... right, so I mean the ring mechanic, because even though Mario it was like, oh, you can collect 100 rings and you get an extra life. Same thing here. I mean, 100 coins in Mario. Oh, I did the opposite of what everyone does. But like the fact that the rings also protect you from getting hit, so it's like it makes Sonic easier, but then also it can be harder because if you're not paying as much attention and you're just running into things and constantly getting hit, eventually you will
fucking
lose all
die.
those rings. Right. So it is the trade-off. Of course, once you're really good at Sonic, you never get hit ever, right?
Once I get there, I'll let you know. At the moment, I'm not what you would consider good. No.
Oh. Right, this is your first time playing
This
game, right?
is my first time playing any video game ever.
Oh, wow. Wait a minute.
And I've already got all the Chaos Emeralds. I'm very proud of myself.
Right, you know what the Chaos Emeralds are. You haven't even played the game. Yeah, so it is very experimental in the sense of what is a platformer and how can it control and what can it do. But it also then has to introduce an entire generation to a slightly different platformer, And so because things have been so baked in, like, oh, well, you have this kind of level and that kind of, like, you have here's a grassy level and here's the ice level and here's the sand level and like there's all these things that are sort of built in. Sonic then also experiments like, well, this isn't just like a grassy plain.
Two temples and 2 cities. Oh, fuck off.
Right. Like here's a tropical. We're gonna start in a tropical place, which feels very like of the time. You think about like, ooh, here's Florida, here's California, here's the palm trees. The fact that it is experimenting with, like, the game desperately wishes it was in 3D. You think about the way that things are drawn and shaded, and even the palm trees in Green Hill Zone. Like the special stages being inspired by that one short film by Sony that stars Sean Lennon. Like all all these weird little things, and you're like, oh wow, like it is of the moment where Mario maybe feels safer. It's like, well, here's a character.
I will say visually, if we just compare Mario World to Sonic 1, just the first games, I think Sonic 1 visually blows. And I love Mario. I love Mario World. Fantastic game. And I know it was a launch game for the Super Nintendo, and so Sega did have a few years of knowing what the Mega Drive could do. I still think
they had about a.
I still think Sonic 1 just looks so. It's so much more dynamic. It's more colorful. Like it's even with the Super Nintendo being technically more powerful, I still think most Sonic games blow most Super Nintendo games out of the water. With pun not intended.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like it was very smart when they did the initial campaign, like, here, look at Mario World,
Yes.
Sonic. Which one do you think looks better? And it's like, oh, Sonic looks better. And I know, yeah, so Sega did have a bit more time with the Genesis or the Mega Drive, but also, like, Sega also just had more time working on this game because that comes out in what, November of 1990.
Well,
So
also, from what I understand, also Mario World and the release of the Super Nintendo was pushed back, I think, at least once or twice. So Mario World could be / look better, and it's like maybe you should have kept it away for another 6 months so it could look better than Sonic does.
Well, initially, apparently, this is you gotta push the button.
Oh yeah.
There was this Japanese history book about Sega, which reads almost apocryphal, even though it seems to have. It features an interview with what the heck? What is his name? Oh, God, his name is like my name is Sonic. His name's not Sonic. Oh God, there's this guy who was like.
Do they call him Sonic? Is he faster than sound? Is he jumping around?
No. But let's see.
No.
Right, originally, what's his name? His name is Minor. Who's this guy? Because there are a couple people who were like, yeah, no, I definitely helped create or make Sonic, and nobody like realizes who they are because they didn't actually they weren't the main. Like Naka, Oshima, Yasuhara, that's the core three, and then you have
But I wanted to say about because obviously Oshima designed him, right? Like Oshima is the visual creator of Sonic, right?
Yes, Oshima designed Sonic. He's the guy who came up with the blue spiky dude. Look at him go. And Naka was the one who programmed it, and Yasuhara was the level designer. He's the one that made sure. He's the one who was like, we're gonna make sure this is fun.
No, obviously those are they are the trinity of Sonic's creation, and you move one away, and you don't get Sonic as he should be. But of those three, would you say Naka is the least important?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, Naka does claim he's the one that came up with the idea of Sonic's entire body being a weapon. That he came up with the curl. With the ball.
Is there anything that disputes that, or is that just accepted as accurate?
Well, there had been an interview with Yasuhara, years ago, where it seemed like he was claiming it happened, like he was the one that came up with the idea, but then Naka was like, well, I had actually come up with the idea in high school, and I didn't want to tell them about it because I wanted to save it for when I eventually left Sega. He really... When you look at Naka, right, and so then he was like desperately.
I also came up with the idea for Jurassic Park, but the attorney one, and they ripped me off, and that idea is mine. I'm Yuichi Naka, buy me a Ferrari.
Right, so then he was like, oh well, I have this idea. He's like, oh, so he's like yelling at them. He's yelling at the rest of the group. Hey, come up with an idea so we can make this. So we don't have to do the pick up an item and throw. And then nobody had one, and he relented with the ball. So, I mean, it is possible that it was sort of a mixture of Yasuhara went, as it is right now, this isn't as fun as it could be. We need to come up with something better, something that's a bit more flowing. Like, how could that actually be demonstrated, presented? I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. Right, Naka really thought he was going to leave Sega. I think he wanted...
And look what happened when he did. Like,
Right.
no one gave a shit about him after he left Sega.
Right. I think. Oh god, where, like, maybe initially he was thinking about like Namco or I think Nintendo. Nintendo was the place.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're like Mario. He's running over the holes. The because even like after Sonic 1 and he quit Sega, he would like go in his car and drive past the Nintendo headquarters and like look at it and go, okay, I'm gonna work here. This is where I'm gonna. I think he maybe approached the door, but they wouldn't let him in because, of course, he doesn't work there. I forget if he said he did that, but
but surely after, even though at that point Nintendo and Sega were the fiercest of rivals, you would think though that after, if the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, which was a big breakaway success, you would think if he would have gone to Nintendo and said, "Hey, let me work with you," you would think Nintendo would be like, "Yeah, all right." Although knowing how they say how up their own arse are, maybe Nintendo wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I mean, at the point,
I'm dead.
I gotta wait.
Yep, I'm dead now.
Dead.
I love this game. It's perfect. No notes. This game is perfect.
It eventually comes back down. The question is, do you have enough air?
I did. I got there. Go me.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. Don't worry. See? You're fine.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. Although I think sometimes in the original Genesis version, it wouldn't trigger the down. I'm sure stuff like that was fixed in the first Taxman version. Right.
Although I will say, just because we haven't spoken too much about the game yet, but this boss, Labrador Act 3, so many fucking game overs in my youth ended here. You know, so many fucking. I do like the fact that you don't have to actually kill him. If you can just survive to the top, you're fine. Which I like that.
Right. Like once it is like once you know it, once you do it, it is pretty easy. But yeah, as a kid, I know I died. I also died many times. It's hard in a way.
No, I made it first try.
First try.
Okay, so I'm sorry, David. Back to your story.
Right. So Naka would sadly drive past Nintendo of Japan. He'd drive past Nintendo and he'd be like, "I want to work there. Why won't they let me work there?"
Is there any evidence that he actually formally submitted a request to work there?
I feel like he said he has, but they just weren't. I guess they weren't interested. But then he ended up getting hired by Sega of America, by STI. You know that's he quit Sega, and then Sega of America rehired him, and went, "We'll pay you more money than Sega of Japan." And he went, "Oh, that sounds good. I like money." And so then he went to America, and Yasuhara went to America, and Oshima wasn't allowed to go to America.
Is that just because he was working on Sonic CD?
I mean, at that point, Sonic CD wasn't a thing. He, if we're talking like the tail end of '91, CD is not in the pipeline. They asked him to make CD after, but initially.
Oh, was that almost like a we can't let you go to America, but if you stay, you can direct the game type of thing.
I think that's kind of how it ended up happening, because what it was is they have Sonic 1, and Sega, I'm sure, is happy with the amount of money that's been made, although there are like those stories of the president of Sega of Japan getting angry, like why isn't Sega of Japan making as much money as America? Why isn't Sega as big here as it is there? You know, he was upset. And when Sonic 1 came out, it was like, oh, you know, thank you for making this game, but we're just giving you like a satisfactory review, Naka, because you released the game, but it still took longer than you said it would. And so we're not going to say it's exemplary. It's just satisfactory. So we're not going to give you a raise. And he went, what? But this is the biggest game you've ever released. Fuck you.
I know.
Yeah,
What
so-
the fuck's sake?
Right. Well, because
I am very rarely on Yuji Naka's side. I am on his side 100% in regards to this story.
Well, originally Sega was hoping Sonic the Hedgehog would come out in 1990. They wanted Sonic. They wanted Sonic 1 to come out the same day as the Super Nintendo.
Interesting, but like, obviously we're looking back with hindsight. Do you think that like 6-7 month gap was better? The fact that because this was a brand new IP, do you think the fact that Sonic came out with seemingly no real direct competition at the same time actually helped?
I think just the extra time helped, because I don't know what Sonic 1 would have looked like if the development time was cut in half. I think it might have been shorter, or just not as... Something would have been lost, and I don't know what.
The special stages, maybe. Seems like...
It's hard to say. But yeah, the assistant director of CS1, like I said, like it almost reads apocryphal, because it's in a book that is like, we sat down and had a meeting and said, let's make a game that can beat Mario. Okay, but what should it be? I don't know. Well, maybe it could be like a rabbit thing. No, rabbit, that's too slow. Oh, maybe it could be an armadillo. No, it should be a hedgehog. Yeah, it'll be a hedgehog. And it's like, it's describing a meeting that clearly never happened, because all of these events took place over the course of weeks and months.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it's based off the testimony of the assistant director of CS1, which is the group that made Sonic 1. Like, that's where Sonic Team was located, because Sonic Team wasn't in. And he said, oh, I had to go and push for the game to be delayed. And even then, it was still kind of delayed beyond that point, because, there are differences between the American and Japanese version, like the extra, the parallax scrolling and the wavy effects in Labyrinth Zone. And
how far along did they get with does the rabbit exist just as concept art, or was there any kind of like playable build featuring the rabbit?
I don't know if the rabbit was ever digitized. We've never seen it.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's possible they must have experimented with the gameplay, whether or not the rabbit was there, if it was just some sort of temporary graphic that didn't look like much of anything. That's hard to say, but they had to talk about it back and forth. All we know is that, like, by June 1990, Sonic the Hedgehog exists, and he essentially looks the way he's going to look, even if, like, we haven't seen Eggman, and, like, there aren't the robots, but they have Green Hill Zone and they have Sonic, and like, some of that is just very, I guess, in the shadows. I'm sure there's still stuff in the archive that we haven't seen, that they've held back on. Like the design documents for the original Sonic. They should just release the whole thing. Why won't you release the whole thing?
Those bastards, release it!
Yeah. They should. They have it. They have multiple versions. There are multiple drafts. I mean, we know, like, Oshima's initial pitch for, who are they called? The Twin Stars pitch. There was that guy on Twitter who was like, oh, I still have photocopies of the whole thing. And it was like, oh, why is that not in a collection? We know that, like, Oshima has at least a copy of an early version where it's still called Wonder Dream, but it's like, well, the character has changed into a hedgehog, but he isn't, like, finalized. He doesn't look like Sonic yet, but they're still kind of playing with that idea. People have them, but they're not And like we know like the whole Sonic CD design document is out there. You know, one of the people who worked on it was like, "Oh, look what I found in my archives. It's the binder." And it's like, "Whoa, you should scan the whole thing." And he said, "I can't do that. I'm just gonna give it back to Sega." It's like, no, don't
You
do
need
that.
to get back to them. That's the last person you should give it back to.
And a couple of those pages were scanned and put in this collection in Origins, but not the whole thing.
Yeah, I will say
that's how we know that Amy was meant to be a high schooler in CD.
Oh, really?
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from that thing.
Because it's a thing because like they're like I on the whole I like, and I know Callum, I haven't acknowledged you, my friend. I know you there. I saw your first post about, you know, why does the official release need a bunch of UltraFixes? I get you hate Sonic Team, my friend, and I support you with that. But it is one thing I do wish this game, like in terms of like the bonus stuff, I think Sonic Jam did a much better job of like contextualizing all this stuff, and I wish there was so much more, again, as you said, of that behind the scenes stuff, and it was organized better, because it's like it's really, well, you know, even something that the Cowabunga collection did, when they have like the design document with like Japanese text on them, they translated everything, but it's like there's so many documents in Origins where there's not a lot of like there's Japanese text, and it's not translated, and sometimes the description doesn't even give a good example of it. It'll just say this is concept art for Sonic 2, and the whole thing is just annotated in Japanese. Like, yeah, but what does that stuff say? Like, fucking, I want to learn more. Sega, teach me more things, please.
Right. The presentation leaves a lot
to be desired. Yes.
Yeah. The Cowabunga collection, the Atari 50th anniversary collection.
Is that good?
Those are like,
is that good? I've been meaning to get that for years. Is that a good collection?
I mean, it is. It's an interactive museum. It is like it's the Cowabunga collection, but even more in terms of this is a living historical document.
It's really, I want to get that for the behind the scenes, because let's be fair, most Atari games get boring after 30 seconds. So really, I would like to have it for like the historical, you know, of what that means for video games as a whole, you know.
Yes, like in terms of history and presentation and the archival material, that's where it is. Yeah, just in terms of like, oh, Atari games, yeah, you might not be like, you might go, okay, that's it. Like, I do have an Atari 2600, but it's not like I sat and played it for hours on end. You do kind of,
after 5 minutes, you've seen everything in the game has to offer.
Right. I mean, I'm sure in the 70s it was extremely novel, and it was very, like, of course, like, oh, it's a video game in your house. That's exciting.
And you know, I mean, I am being extremely flippant. Obviously, you can't compare Atari games to like something like Sonic 1, and so obviously the Atari, it's again, it's just such a important in the medium of video games and pop culture as a whole, so influential and so important. But it's just, unfortunately, again, so many of those were just like arcade style games where if you don't care about getting the highest score you can, it's just like, okay, what do I do now? You know.
Yeah. No, you. I mean, there are definitely some arcade games that I love and adore. You know, Pac-Man is one of them.
Oh, yes.
I can always sit down and just play Pac-Man
forever.
And you know, like Galaga is also right. I guess like the Namco ones, they were definitely. And I mean, you're going the long way. Why
because David, this is your favorite game. I want everyone to experience it as much as possible. Also, because we haven't really talked about the game, so I might just start it again once I finish. We can talk.
You might play it again. Okay.
Yeah, play it again. Why not?
Well, there's so much Sonic. I mean, you could do the story mode. Have you done the story mode? You must have done the story mode.
I think so. I know on my PS5 I've done everything. Like I've got all the achievements. The only achievement I haven't gotten yet is the find the statue as Amy or Knuckles. That's the only one I want to do. That's the only one I need to do.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, because
Yeah.
again, we still have like 6 other tangents to finish before we go back to talking about the game. But yeah,
Right. Well, I guess I just falling down the historical path.
which is again, David. This is why I love talking to you, man. This is like, again, we can go on so many tangents, but everyone is more entertaining than the last. Please continue, my friend.
Oh man, you almost drowned there. Yeah, I mean, because the development of the original Sonic is one of the most fascinating things to me about Sonic, because because it is like, oh, here's it's an untested. I mean, because they weren't even really thinking in terms of IP back then, right?
It's just
like
we want to make one good game, and hopefully that one good game will sail. Yeah,
and hopefully we can turn it into something more. Maybe the word franchise existed.
Because at that point there were 4 Mario games, so like it wasn't like the concept of a franchise wasn't a thing. Because at that point you had actually at that point you would have had at least 5 Mario games across 3 different platforms. Because at that point Mario Land was out as well on the Game Boy.
Right. Yeah. Mario Land, the Core 3, I guess. Right. The Core 3 World. I forget. And I mean the American version of 2 or the Japanese version.
Oh yeah.
You have. Right, there are a number of Mario games. Plus, you do have, the Super Show. Like you have the cartoon.
Yes.
And also, even you died.
I know. Also, again, thank you for being here, David. And also, at that point, you have what was it called? The anime movie, the Mission to Rescue Princess Peach.
Yes. So you had the Japanese anime. You had the. Right, because when did Golden Coins come out? That was. I
think it was either 91 or 92. So I'm not sure if that came out before Sonic 1 did.
Yeah, right. 6 Golden Coins. I got way.
6 Golden Coins is one of my favorite Mario games. It is easily in my top 10. Maybe I walked into him. Damn you, Proto Grounder. But yeah.
I do wish like. One thing I wish Nintendo would have done at any point, or still would do, but they're never going to do, is like give the All-Stars treatment to Land and Land 2.
Oh my god, dude! I want Sega to give the Origins treatment to all the Game Gear games, but I think because they were just slapped in Origins, they won't do that. And like, I'm not talking about like go crazy. I'm just make every game widescreen 60 frames. Don't add anything else in. Just give us that, and I would buy them again in a heartbeat.
Okay, so you don't want to do like the wild. I at one point I used to fantasize about like, oh man, what if they made a really long version of Sonic 1 where they incorporated all the extra stuff from the Game Gear game. Like, oh man, what if you had a 16-bit version of Bridge Zone and Jungle Zone and the other zone that's unique to it. The level that's after Airbase. Yeah.
Airbase has a really good music track.
Yeah, the music in the Game Gear game is really good. You should also play the Game Gear game.
I streamed it. Damn you! I've streamed most of the Game Gear games.
Oh, you have? Okay.
The only ones I haven't yet are Blast, Labyrinth, and I need to finish Tails Adventure.
Oh, well, you don't have to play Blast.
I did. It was the last time my one and only subathon. People requested that I do all of the Game Gear games, so now I'm stuck doing the Game Gear games.
Okay, well.
What up, dude? I did Sky Patrol. Check my YouTube channel. Sky Patrol's up there. Sky Patrol took me 2 attempts because the first time I did it, after like 20 minutes, I was like, nah, I need to not do this for a while.
So you beat it? You beat Sky Patrol?
Yeah.
Wow, I've never beaten Sky Patrol. I I've never been able to muster the, like, you start with that first level, and I just go, okay, I'm not
having fun with this. No, again, that's why it took me 2 attempts to do that.
Yeah, Sky Patrol is just, oh god. But
well, I'll say the thing about Sky Patrol is that it started off as a Disney license game. It wasn't even meant to be a Tails game. I forget which company did it. I think they just went to Sega like, hey, we have this prototype. We can just slap that stupid fox on it and call it a day. They're like, yeah, all right, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, they just wanted to release it as anything, and Sega let them. How nice of them. And then we got
the Witch Carters, the greatest villains no one's ever heard of.
Right. They need to bring her back. I know she's in that one comic.
She's in the Tails 30th anniversary comic book. Yeah.
Yeah. She's in that, but I wanna see her in full 3D. I wanna see modern Witch Cart.
Isn't there that what's that Sonic card mobile game that's only out in the Philippines? Sonic Blitz? Aren't there a bunch of like 3D renders of classic characters you would have not seen 3D renders for before? So I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe Witch Carter will be in there at some point.
Yeah. There's some Tales Adventures characters in there. There's a lot of
Modern Mighty's in there. Modern Knack the Weasel. Sorry, Fang the Hunter.
Right, he's a hunter. He's not a sniper.
Or Jabroa. Oh no, he's a Jabroa. He's not a Weasel. He's a Jabroa.
Yeah, a Jabroa. He was half wolf, half weasel, but now he's just half Jerboa, half wolf. I don't know. I get confused. There's a lot going on there. Yeah. He's just Fang the Sniper. I don't care. His name is, even though technically, oh, you died. Technically his.
What would I do, David?
His name is
What would
Knack.
I do?
I don't know. His name is Knack.
To me, because again, I grew up with in my first introduction to him was through Stomp the Comic, and he's Knack the Weasel there, and I never liked the name Fang. I always thought that was a stupid name. I don't care for that. But now he's just Fang the Hunter. All right, whatever. I don't care anymore. I care immensely.
Right. Well, it's one of those things where the design Toma, the guy who designed him, gave him the name Knack, but they were afraid because they had just introduced Knuckles that it would sound too similar in Japanese, Knack and Knuck, right? Like, it would be too confusing, so they went, we have to give him a different name. And I think they had like a contest and asked people to mail in ideas for the name of this character.
Which, because I know now he is drawn with like a giant oversized fang to help sell the name. Was that part of his original character design back then?
I think so. Yeah, he had that going. But he was initially, like, the original character concepts was meant to be shorter, and he was supposed to look like Opa Opa from Fantasy Zone. Like, that's sort of the shape of his head was meant to evoke that.
That's funny.
Yeah. But then they made him taller, and then they changed his name, and they gave him a court gun. Can't have a real gun.
I know. Let me have a real gun, you cowards.
There is that one random sprite, in that. It was in a magazine. I forget if it was ever found in some prototype built that has like the. It's a more gun-looking gun.
Oh, was it like a Donkey Kong 64 where they just had Knack having like an actual realistic looking shotgun, and then Yuji Naka was like, cork gun. How about that instead?
Naka had nothing to do with it.
I know.
Naka did not care about the Game Gear
games. Yeah, I mean, does anyone in Sega at this point care about the Game Gear games?
Well, Well, they care about it more than they care about the game Chaotix.
Hey, fucking the podcast just made Chaotix officially canon again.
Right.
It's
Well,
officially canon now.
It's been officially canon again for a little while.
It has?
But this yeah, like internally, it's been officially canon for a while. Like it was not canon, and then it's canon again because the state of canonicity in Sonic the Hedgehog is always incredibly fluid. The way I look at it is like whatever is canon in the moment is whatever they are deciding, they're acknowledging. Right, because in Heroes, Izuka was like, "Oh, we're just treating these characters like they're brand new."
Yeah.
Even though at the time I'm like, you don't have to, and nothing in the game explicitly says Chaotix didn't happen.
I remember when they first, because again, the Chaotix were in Sonic the Comic. I was a big fan of them in Sonic the Comic. My favorite character was Mighty, so I remember being really annoyed that he was excluded. I was like, fuck SBO, put Mighty there. But now I'm like, SBO is so much cooler than Mighty. They made a good decision there. Also because Mighty is just Sonic. It's just Sonic, but looks worse, you know?
Right, he is just Sonic. I forget offhand the character designer. All I know, for the longest time, people went, "Oh, is Mighty? Is that the armadillo character that they were talking about in Sonic 1?" And the answer is no, he's not. That is not. Yeah, I guess because Mighty, I know Mighty's in Chaotix, but Mighty he does predate the Chaotix. He was
because he was in Sega Sonic. Yeah, he was in Sega Sonic Arcade.
Right. So the Chaotix designers were like, we like Mighty. We don't care about Ray. That's what they said, I guess.
Yeah, that is weird how. Also, I wonder, like, at that point, like, I wonder, what came first, Sonic 2 or Sega Sonic Arcade?
Sonic 2 was released first.
I guess, like, I'm just like, because both of them feature small yellow characters who could fly. Just why wasn't either Tails in Sega Sonic Arcade, or why wasn't Ray just became Sonic's sidekick? They're inventing too many characters that do the same thing. Sega are idiots.
They I don't know. You did have Sonic 2. It was being developed in California, in San Francisco. And see, I don't know when Sega Sonic Arcade, when the arcade game was initially developed, but even though Ray is called a flying squirrel, he doesn't fly in that game. They all control exactly the same.
Yeah. David, who should I play as for round 2? Tails, Knuckles, or Amy?
Well, right. Canonically, none of them belong. You could be Amy. She's different. Okay. Yeah.
I wish Amy controlled in Origins like she does in Superstars. I wish she had a double jump and not her pointless drop dash piece of crap thing.
Yeah, she does do the little
Yeah. What? So
right, I know every.
I don't want to talk about you.
Oh no, right. See, the pet peeve of mine that I have is like, here's Amy, but she doesn't match Amy from CD. They didn't just take that sprite and build on it. And I'm like, why didn't you? Why did you make Amy look a little different?
I mean, I'm okay with that because I mean, like all the other like Sonic changes appearances between certain games. Also, like the sprite in CD. I think this sprite looks better than a CD sprite, so I'm okay with it.
Well, isn't it also like technically her color palette doesn't match the Genesis?
So something like that, yeah.
Right. So it's also not 100% accurate. But you know where it was accurate? In CD. Because it was on the Sega CD.
Callum, yes, I agree with you there. Ray is too big in Mania Plus. He should be the same size as Tails. He should not be the same height as Sonic.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mighty and Ray aren't in this game. They're only in. You know, like Origins is fine, but man, I do kind of wish Origins was better.
I will say, like, I think Origins is perfect. Most of the people who picked up Origins, if they haven't played Sonic since the 90s, Origins is perfectly fine. I think there are a lot of issues. There were a lot of issues with Origins, but I think the majority of them won't mean anything unless you're an obsessive dork like we are in regards to these games. I think a lot of the issues, most people won't even realize they're there, which doesn't mean like that those problems should have been there in the first place. I'm just saying I think sometimes the complaints are sometimes blown out of proportion. David's like, no, every change to this game is an affront to nature.
It's right. Well, it's because I want the best Sonic collection that could possibly exist.
Oh, sorry. And Origins isn't that. I'll give you that. Like there are so many, even with all the fixes that UltraFix does. I still wish I wish the menus were better. I wish every game gave you the option to like there's so many of the cheats are still hidden behind. You have to input the cheat shit to get to it. Like at this point, like I would complete the game once normally, and then I think the game should just give you a list of fucking cheats to like turn on like the extra special stage they put in Sonic 1, or like the elemental shield they have in Sonic 1, 2 and CD. I think shit like that should have been included, and I think it's annoying how in this even with really well-known and hard-working fans working on things like Origin, as Callum points out, there's still things like other fan remakes that just done a better job. And it's the fact that this is the official release with all the money behind it. It is a shame. It is a shame that they're still not as good as it should be.
Right. I mean, I ideally, because like there should be numerous options. There should be, and even like the perfect collection to me would include the variations of these games. Like you have Sonic 1, you've got an anniversary and a classic mode, but the classic mode isn't like it's just
classic mode is actually the original game. Yes, no, I agree, and I think even
right, like you should
they missed the beat with not incorporating the extra versions from Sonic Jam, like easy mode. Like that would have been cool for them to bring back shit like that.
Right, you should have easy mode. You should have the modes from Jam. You should have, and then if you have an easy, original, and normal, maybe go the extra step and include a hard mode.
Extra hard, yeah. It just spikes everywhere.
Right, like you've played this game 1,000 times. Well, now it's harder. It is funny that Jam gave an easy mode, but
yes,
it doesn't have to be. You don't need a hard mode. You just need an easy mode. And at some point, Sonic does become easy. So
if you play it enough, so I think we went through nicely a somewhat history of Sonic 1. David, to go back, you were telling a story about like an hour ago about the differences between Archie and STC and going on the internet and seeing that type of stuff. Because I want to close all the open conversations before we just talk about the game. All the open conversations.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So what? Trying to remember what was.
I know.
What was I? Right. I know I was talking about. Right. We were talking about Ken Penders for a bit.
Yeah. Sure. We didn't close that. So you know what? The only thing I'll say about STC is whenever Sonic Weekly decides to do a dedicated episode of Sonic the Comic, I will take it as a personal offense if I am not your guest for that episode.
Oh. Uh-oh. Now, right, well, because, okay, well, yeah, we've talked about, like, maybe we should do an episode, but it is also, like, that would require all three of us reading a bunch of it, and I don't know how...
Like you haven't already, David. Like you don't know it all by heart.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've read a bunch of it, but that doesn't mean that Grant and Bo have read it all as well. You know, it is Sonic the Comic is a... It can feel like a mystery sometimes. You know?
I think, and this may be my bias, but I think at least for the first, maybe up until, I don't know, maybe up until like issue, I think early STC, it's a lot closer to the game. Like it feels more like a adaptation of the Sonic video games, whereas obviously Archie in the beginning is more of an adaptation of Sat AM. And then it just gets fucking weird. You know, I think STC, not through its whole run, but at least in the first, like, let's say the first 2 years of STC versus the first year of Archie, STC is much closer to what you would imagine a Sonic adaptation actually would be, rather than what Archie is.
I mean, in some ways, yes, because you do have a comic that goes, hey, the Emerald Hill Zone exists. Oh, here's Metal Sonic. Here's Little Planet. Here's... Like, it does... And then the adaptations of Sonic 3 and Sonic Knuckles...
I love them, man. They are. I fucking love the Sonic CD adaptation. You know, at STC has permanently, whenever I think... I dislike it in plain CD when you collect the Time Stone and they just look like the Chaos Emeralds. Because in STC, they were actual stones. So I always imagined the Time Stones to look like shiny stones, rather than just Chaos Emerald knockoffs.
Yeah, I guess... But then you can get weird and go, oh, well, it's not 100% game accurate now, is it? They changed the look of the Time Stone.
You know, I'm going to imagine, probably because, like with Archie... I don't think the guys at Flickway will always give him material. So I'm sure they just heard Time Stone. Oh, okay, we'll make him look like an actual stone then. You know?
Yeah. Like I know Sega of Europe and Sega of America went about things differently in terms of what are you allowed to do and what aren't you allowed to do. Like one of the big ones when Ken Penders first pitched to Archie, like, oh, you know, pitch us ideas for stories, and he had the three he had three that he came up with, and two of them were in that issue 11, which was like Evil Sonic, and
that's right, Ken Penders' own Scourge. Never forget that, boys and girls.
Yes, but the third idea was a parody of the Mario Brothers, right? Like being pitched as like
STC got their first. The Super Mario Brothers, they're the Mario Brothers and the Marx Brothers combined. I fucking love STC so much.
But the thing is, now I forget which issue the Marxio Brothers are introduced in, but Ken pitched it, and Sega of America said, no, you can't do that. You can't have a Mario parody in this comic. Just straight up said you can't do that. But
Sega of Europe were like, yeah, fuck that plumber, do what you want.
Right, Sega of Europe doesn't care. They're like, yeah, do a Mario parody, whatever.
Well, also, I think with that one, I think you could be like, you could get around it because it's not just the Mario Brothers, because it's the Mario and the Marx Brothers put together. I'm sure Nigel Kitchen could just be like, no, it's just the Marx. I'm a big fan of the Marx Brothers. It's fine, don't worry about it.
I think it's just more the licensing people in Europe. It didn't occur to them. Don't do it. But the licensing people like America went, oh, please don't do that. That's a bit too much. Yeah.
Cowards.
And then
Cowards a lot.
And then also, you think about like the adaptations of Sonic 3 in the UK and the US.
Much closer. I think those adaptations are a lot closer to the games in STC than they were in Archie, at least in the early days.
Right, but you hit that weird point where Archie goes, oh, okay, well, I guess we got to make a story about Sonic 3, and it is just the one issue. It is just here's Knuckles, and they go to the island, and there's a couple winks of like there's some fourth wall breaking, and some hey kids, push the buttons on your Genesis controller. Whoops, didn't do it fast enough. Sorry. But when
but STC's adaptation even brings in the fucking Insta-Shield. They referenced, and it's never brought up again after that one issue, but they referenced the Insta-Shield in the first Sonic 3 adaptation issue.
Yeah.
I just like it more. Sorry, I just think STC is better than Archie.
The Insta-Shield's also in the Archie book.
Oh, was
that first? Right. It happens, and Sonic shouts, "Holy 16-bit graphics, Batman!" Which
yeah, I'm sorry. That's terrible. That's terrible. that's just not good writing.
Right. So it's there, and then it goes away, and also is never brought up again. But so they just do the one issue, but also when it's about to be published, Sega of America tells Archie, "Oh, actually, could you not publish it? We don't know what we want to do with Knuckles. We don't want to define anything with him, so don't put it in there." And then they had to say, "Oh, well, if we can pull it, but that means the issue will be delayed because it's already been sent to the printers, so you're going to have to pay for like
a new issue
the cost."
Oh.
Yeah, you're going to have to pay for like the reprinting and all this, like the fees associated with pulling an issue, pulping the issue, reprint or making a new story, having that printed, the comic being delayed, all that stuff. Oh, you have to pay for it, Sega. And then they went, never mind, just publish it. Because
that sounds all right for Sega in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, actually, never mind. You know, you can run on those real fast and just jump over them. It's just fine.
Amy's not a fast girl. She's slow and meticulous, just like Sonic 1.
Just like... But yeah, I mean, as far as I know, nothing of that sort occurred with Fleetway. They went, okay, here's Sonic 3, adapt it, and they did. And they never said, actually, wait until we figure out what to do with Knuckles. Because it's not like they knew what they were going to do with Knuckles. What did Knuckles do in games after, like, you had Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles? He shows up in Triple Trouble doing the exact same thing. There's Chaotix, but the US story has him guarding a carnival. He's on Carnival Island. He's not even on Angel Island in the manual.
Well, see, I missed when it was called Floating Island. I missed it when Angel Island was just the first segment, but the actual island itself was called the Floating Island. Because it sounds better than... Because it's like... Then it makes the Angel Island level feel like New York, you know?
New York. Well... Yeah, but then that does mean that, like, if Angel Island isn't the name of the island, but it's just the name of that part of the island, then why is there an island in the island? What does that mean?
It just sounds cool, right? Learn more about it. Yeah, okay, so again, we had so many fucking things. So going back then to
right. So Ken Penders, Shadow File. Oh, you know, like. I don't know. What do we... Yes, so he's reprinted stuff. He's reprinted Knuckles. The Scott Shaw collection came out.
That? No, I'm not. I know that Penders first did the Laura Sue Chronicles after so many years. The Knuckles one. Is the script? Is the Scott Shaw collection? Is that released by Scott Shaw, or did Penders release that?
It's Ken Penders, I guess. It's under his company, Floating Island Productions.
Okay.
But the material inside of it is the comics that Scott Shaw made for Archie, mostly. I mean, it is all of his stuff, but there's a little bit that isn't his. I bought the Laura Sue Chronicles.
I was going to, but then I couldn't because I'm not a fan of that man's work or him as a person, so I could not give him my hard-earned money for that. I couldn't. I fucking couldn't do it.
I mean, after everything, I was like, I need to know what's going on in this, especially because it's like, oh, and then there's the 30 new pages. You're going to see the Lurker Chronicles finally, and I'm like, okay. And there isn't much new in there, but I got it.
Is it good or is it bad? I assume it's just bad.
Yeah, the nothing new. The new stuff, nothing happens in it.
Wait. So I'm sorry, but I thought the Lurker Chronicles was meant to be a completely brand new story. So you're saying it's mostly just reprinted material?
Well, the Lurker Chronicles beginnings is sort of the volume 0 of Lurker, because it is meant to be a continuation of the Mobius 25 years later storyline. And in that story, it is, like, oh, there's Knuckles and he's an adult and Sonic's an adult, and like Sonic has kids and Knuckles is a kid, and they're all just kind of hanging out and not doing much of anything except having, Sonic's having a midlife crisis. But there is some intangible threat to all of existence. That's sort of the plot, right? Something's wrong with time and space, and they think it's Sonic.
Time Eater.
No. It is like, oh, everything is fine, and they have dinner parties and slumber parties, but like the weather's bad for some reason, and Rotor and Rotor goes, oh, it's not just that the weather's bad, it's that all of time and space is crumbling and we may no longer exist.
How does he know that? How does Rotor know that exactly?
Because science.
Oh god, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Gotcha.
Right, it's Rotor and it's that other. You go through that wall. Rotor and another. What's his face? It's some kid. It's Rotor's boyfriend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't Ken make Rotor gay in the original? Like, obviously not. He didn't kind of say that, but that wasn't his intention. That Rotor was gay.
Yes, his intention was that he was going to reveal that Rotor was gay, and it was going to be a plot point. You're going to find out that Robotnik was going to blackmail someone.
So what?
He mentioned this on his forums, that he was going to have a story where, like,
but Robotnik blackmails Rotor because he's gay. That's
right. Like, I'm gonna get you to do things that you like. I'm gonna get you to betray the freedom fighters, because otherwise I'll tell them you're gay. And
oh my god, I'm sorry. That's so... What the fuck is Kingpin? What the fuck?
I mean, I can kind of get what he's doing in the sense, like, oh, I'm going to tell a story, and that it's, of course, Sonic's going to be like, hey, Rote, I don't care if you're gay. Like, that's fine, but it feels like it would have come... I don't think he would have written it very well. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care if Rotor is
no,
gay
saying,
or
like him Rotor being gay is just the fact that I guess it's just like it's so... It's just so, I think it's just because I can't see, for all the crazy fucked up shit that modern, like, Eggman has done, I can't see Eggman blackmailing someone's sexuality. So the fact that Pendus was going to do that with, which again, Pendus also made claims that he owns, there was a thing where, like, he said he owned the current Eggman in the comic books, even though it's clearly based off Game Eggman. Because of some parallel thing or something like that?
Right, he was trying to say that, right, since he came up with the character of Robo-Robotnik, and Robo-Robotnik was technically the Robotnik running around in the comic, that he created that version of Robotnik, which is legally distinct. And, I mean, I am not an expert in copyright law, and because, there are certain things that I think you can argue that makes sense when it comes to what Ken claimed and what Ken was rewarded with. You think about how DC for a time couldn't use Superboy, right?
Yeah.
The concept of Superboy, even though you could say, whoa, but Superboy, that's just Clark Kent when he was a boy. DC owns Superman. Why can't they use Superboy?
Yeah, it's a weird gray area that, like, I can see both sides to that one, but yeah.
Right. Or when what's his face? Wait. Oh, was that a Neil Gaiman thing? Hold on. Never mind. I mean, ignoring everything about Neil Gaiman.
Yes.
Yes, but the thing like early on in Spawn, Todd McFarlane invited Neil Gaiman to write an issue of Spawn, and he came up with the character of medieval Spawn, right? Where it's a Spawn from a different era, so it's technically a different guy, and he looks a little different, but it is Spawn. And then Todd was like, "Oh, I own
Medieval
Spawn, so
Spawn.
I own this version of Spawn."
Yeah.
And then Neil was like, "No, actually, I would own that version of Spawn. I created him." And then they sued, and I think they were like, "Oh, yeah, I guess technically Neil Gaiman would own that version of Spawn." It was one of those things.
It's just
But
Malibu Stacy with a new hat. Who cares? But she's got a new hat.
but right, so it is like those weird little shade. It's the same thing why like creatives will go, "Oh, I can't read fanfic," or "I can't read an unsolicited idea."
Oh yeah.
Of
Ian would say it all the time. He would always be like, please don't tell me your fanfic ideas, because like
right.
I don't want to. And I will say in regards to, I shit on Penders a lot, but I will say every time he would talk about creator-owned rights and royalties for reprints, I'm always on his side for that. I do think that anytime Archie put something out in the trade, I think that they should have paid all their client. Like I think Ian's always been open about like he doesn't get like the royalties or like that kind of stuff. And he's like, I'm okay with that because that's the contract I signed. I'm fine with it. I do agree with Ken. I think these people should be, all these creatives should be making money for that. Which to go back quickly to the Shadowfalls, the fact that he is including stuff that Ian wrote, and I'm going to assume seemingly without Ian's permission, because I don't want to speak for Ian, but the impression you always get is that Ian wants nothing to do with Penders. I can't imagine there was a formal request from Penders and that Ian agreed to it. So it does feel like Penders. It just feels like he's somewhat of a hypocrite, saying that he's always for these creators' rights unless it's him doing the stealing. Then that seems to be fine for him.
Right. I think what Ken's rationale is that I'm reprinting these, and I've already earmarked or reserved there will be a certain amount of money that will be put into an account for the other creators. Like there's already money going to be sitting there for Ian if he wants it, and that's all fine and dandy. But one,
ask first.
Right, you're arbitrarily deciding how much that should be, and also, what if Ian was like, actually, I don't want you to be the one who reprints my work. If suddenly Ian owns all of his work, which I don't think he does. My assumption would be that after everything that happened with Archie, they made him sign stuff, and Sega made him